Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. Complete frickin' chaos and disorder on the streets. We got a bunch of viral videos coming out of Brooklyn, New York, of massive roaming gangs of unsupervised youth taking over entire city blocks. Complete chaos as if the city is some kind of lawless playground. We're seeing these kids jumping on cars, smashing up things, raiding stores, stealing, screaming, basically raising hell. It looks like something frankly out of a failed state, but this isn't Venezuela, it's not South Africa, it's New York City, the richest city on the planet. And you know what, as I watch it, I'm seeing a snapshot of what Democrat governance looks like. You know, this is what progress, I guess, is supposed to look like. This is what they pretend we're supposed to accept as normal. You know, I'm all for tolerance in a lot of cases, but stuff like this, I have absolutely no tolerance for. This completely lawless culture. And frankly, I find it's child neglect. It's a neglect of basic standards of governance. This is what happens when a woke government refuses to do its damn job, and this is what happens when you have naive policies that compound for decades, policies that enable, justify, and glorify the worst elements of our society. This is what happens when responsibility and accountability become racist. Let me show you guys exactly what's going on with these shocking clips from Brooklyn. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. All right, folks, so take a look at the streets. Now, this is becoming a pretty common scene across major Democrat cities. You got kids flooding the streets, crawling on cars, in some cases twerking on cars, destroying property, frankly, terrorizing neighborhoods. This is Brooklyn in 2025, and you tell me, is this acceptable in any civilized country? Would this be tolerated anywhere else? Obviously not, but in Democrat America, if you say that this is unacceptable, if you label this as problematic, a problematic culture, you get called a bigot. You're the problem for pointing it out. But let's be absolutely freaking clear here. This is not good for anyone. It's not good for the neighborhoods where businesses are already shutting down because of high crime and nonstop chaos. It's obviously not good for families who are living there. When you have these public hazard scenarios, you can't even walk safely down your own street, not to mention the culture that could possibly influence your children. You know, you don't want them getting caught up in this mob mentality and this lawless chaos. It's clearly not good for the law-abiding citizens, and it's obviously not good for the kids themselves. This ridiculous hands-off Democrat approach. Since when is progress allowing chaos to fester? The Democrat Party approach isn't saving anyone. Frankly, I think the chaos that they're enabling is ruining these kids' future prospects. You know, these are children that should be in school, they should be supervised, building a future. But instead they're running wild in the streets and nobody in a position of authority seems to care. And you know what? We've seen this as a growing trend since COVID especially. When schools were shut down, kids were left unaccounted for. Instead of being in class, they started roaming the streets. Meanwhile, Democrats told you that they were protecting the kids, right? Well, in certain neighborhoods, kids were incredibly susceptible. The parents didn't step up. In many cases, the parents aren't even necessarily present. The Democrat public schools didn't enforce any standards. Democrats just shrugged, ignored the entire issue, shoved it under the rug because they were too focused on the political elements or on their despicable power grabs. And well, what do you think happens when you leave a generation of kids unsupervised, aimless, and now influenced by crime culture? You get exactly what you're seeing now. And it's not just kids blowing off steam, oh, kids will be kids. That's the lie that the media tells you. No, the truth is what follows these instances, these moments of chaos, is crime, robberies, assault, you know, like this. more aimless children engaging in violent crime on the streets. Or instances like this, just a casual 8-year-old in Coney Island pulling a knife on another kid.
It's hard to get it sturdy and start to get it on. Oh, he backed out, folks. Hold on. There's too much shit going on worth the 8-track. Oh, no. Hold on. Oh, little homeboys got low. The little homeboys got low. Hold on. Shit get active.
These cases are endless. I have so many that I could show you. And again, it all comes to neglect and frankly, an added layer of liberal naivete. And really what bothers me the most about the leftist approach is the justification of what we're seeing on the streets, or the lack of care, the way they ignore it, or sometimes the way they try to distract from what's really going on. I was following some reports recently about a motorbike crew in Sheepshead Bay. Supposedly you had this crew of misfit kids riding motorbikes in Brooklyn causing chaos, and Democrats pretended as if it wasn't a problem. They pretended as if actually it was a conspiracy theory and this crew didn't even exist. They pretended that they weren't doing anything wrong. But now we're finding out that this motorbike crew is actually robbing people in the parks. This is what happens when you normalize lawlessness. And at some point, you gotta get serious. We need to stop pretending as if this is just harmless youth culture. It's ghetto crime culture, plain and simple, and it's being enabled by Democrats at every single level. We got failed schools, failed welfare policies, failed law enforcement, no standards, no consequences. And obviously, when kids grow up in that environment, when there are no consequences, this is the result that you get. It's time to wake up. We need standards. We need high standards, especially for the youngins who are supposed to represent our future. Basic parental responsibility should be a mandate. These children need to be kept in school. We gotta hold them accountable, enforce real standards. Because right now, what Democrats are doing in low-income neighborhoods is producing entire generations of dropouts and criminals. People who are being taught entitlement, just rob and steal and nothing's gonna happen to you. And again, that simply cannot be the standard. It's not the standard anywhere else. But for some reason, we pretend as if this is acceptable. It's not acceptable, and it should be a global embarrassment. Anyways, that's what I got for you guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.